Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about reborn kits. Now when I say reborn kits, I don't mean a full completed reborn, I mean what you start with when you're an artist and about to paint them. In this video I'm going to be talking about the different sites where you can buy these from, scam sites and how to avoid them, where you can buy starter kits if you are new to this world and want to make your own, and how to identify a legitimate reborn kit. As this video goes on, I'll be sharing with you some screenshots and screen recordings of the websites that I am talking about, and every website I mention that is legitimate I will link down in the description below. I'm going to be talking mainly about websites from the UK and the US, but there are some websites overseas as well. First things first, if you type in reborn doll kits into Google, the first things that come up will be scam sites. Most of the sponsored sites are in fact not going to give you a legitimate reborn kit. This includes places like Amazon, Temu, and AliExpress. There are also a lot of fake reborn kits that come up on places like eBay, so be careful there and do your homework. Now, the first thing you need to know about these kits is they are expensive. Most of the ones I buy are around £100 to about $120. This one in particular, I believe, was about $120. So if you see a website that's selling lots of these for under £60 or $60, for example, it is going to be a scam unless it's Bountiful Baby, which I'll talk about in a minute. The second red flag of these scam sites is them describing these as silicone. These are vinyl kits. Thirdly, if in the title of what they're calling the doll, they call it something like 23-inch reborn doll, it's going to be a scam. What you want to look out for is that they're using the sculpt name in the title, and that in the description they list who the artist is that sculpted these dolls. Now, why are fake reborn kits bad? Because surely you're getting a very similar product. Well, in some instances, yes, it is a similar product. However, these kits are made by sculptors that spend hours and hours, up to several years, creating just one of these kits. And they deserve to be paid for their time. When you buy off places like AliExpress, essentially what you're doing is taking money from the pocket of people that have worked to create these. What places like AliExpress do is they buy a legitimate one of these and then they make a mold of it and they remold it in their own materials. One, the materials that they use are likely to be much, much cheaper, so of much poorer quality. And two, what they're doing is actually illegal and it infringes on copyright. Unfortunately, most of our sculptors, they're individuals, they're small businesses. They can't afford to go and sue all of the massive companies that are doing this to them. But what you can do to support our sculptors is make sure that you buy legitimate so that they are getting what they deserve for the work that they have done. There are several things you can do to see whether a kit is legitimate. One is buy from the legitimate sites that I'm going to tell you about today. And two, if you look at the back of a reborn, most of them should have the sculpt name. So for example, this one says Jalen by Georgia Pigott, 2021. And this also has a JD number on the neck flange. Now, some fake sculpts, unfortunately, have managed to copy the name that goes on the back of the neck, but most of them haven't copied the JD number. So if it doesn't have a JD number, it's probably a fake. The other thing is the certificate of authenticity, which I'll show you a close-up of this one. Most legitimate sculpts that have come out in the last few years all have certificates of authenticity. Now, these have also been copied, so if in doubt, reach out to the community and ask for a picture of the certificates or the head that you know is legitimate, and then you can compare with other ones that you have seen. But as I said, if in doubt, go straight to the source of a legitimate website that only sells legitimate dolls. I will say older kits don't always have these things. So for example, Reva Chic kits, they don't have certificates of authenticity because it's an older kit and that didn't really happen when they were first created. Now, I mentioned Bountiful Baby earlier, and they are one of the best sites to buy from if you are brand new to making reborns. And this is because they are very cheap and very affordable. The majority of Bountiful baby kits are called realborns rather than reborns. So a realborn is a 3D scan of a real baby. And that 3D scan is then made into a kit. As a heads up, Bountiful baby kits are some of the hardest ones to paint. This is because they are very, very pale, so it takes much longer to achieve a depth of skin tone. But they are really good to practice on when you are first starting. I'm going to list a few sites that are definitely legitimate from the UK, all of which I have personally bought from. These are in no particular order. So you have Tinkerbell Creations, Dolly UK, Mott and Giddo, Fairy Tales Reborn Nursery, UK Reborn Kits, and iArt Reborn. Several of those sell starter kits, which means that they come with a brand new kit and also everything you need to make your own first reborn. I personally recommend using the starter kit by Mott and Giddo. They use waterborne air dry paints, and that's what I paint with. When I first started, I used Special Care Nursery air dry paints. Those are also very good, and Special Care Nursery does do a starter kit as well. Starter kits usually set you back about £150 for everything. If you are using a heat set starter set, then it's usually a bit more expensive. Some really good websites in the US, apart from Bountiful Baby, are McPherson's. Now, McPherson's has almost every single kit you could ever want. I usually use McPherson's if the baby that I'm looking for is sold out in the UK, and McPherson's mostly have everything in stock unless it's a sold out limited edition doll. Another couple of sites are Irresistibles and Trueborns. Now, something to note with all of these websites is that the pictures they use are pictures of the prototype dolls, not the blank kit. This is so you can see how the doll might be when it is finished, but just keep in mind that you are not receiving a fully painted doll. And on each doll listing, there should be information about the size of the doll, the size of the body that you need, whether it needs eyes and what size those eyes need to be, and whether it has full limbs, 3/4 limbs, that kind of thing. Another great website in the US is Ultimate Fusion, and they do starter kits. I don't think they sell kits by themselves, but they will do all of their Ultimate Fusion air dry range alongside a basic reborn kit. And that's very good if you want to try air dry paints in the US. Sometimes as you're scrolling through these sites, you might see something that says $20 for a reborn kit, and just something to keep in mind, click on that and you'll see that the $20 is for the pre-order, not the cost of the full kit. As I said, they are usually significantly more expensive than that. Another reason why I like McPherson's is that they often have sales on, so quite a few of the dolls that I have bought, I've bought in the sale from McPherson's. I believe most of these websites will ship internationally. McPherson's is no exception. I've never actually had to pay customs on a McPherson order, despite the fact that I regularly spend over $300 there. $300 is the amount you need to spend to get free shipping from McPherson's. But just keep in mind that anything you're importing to the UK, if it's over £135 worth of value, you will have to pay customs on it usually. There are also lots of Facebook groups you can join where people will resell kits, but it's not 100% guaranteed you will get a legitimate kit. So again, if you are concerned at all about identifying whether it's a real kit or not, then I would say go straight to the source and buy them from reputable dealers. It's not a bad thing having lots of these in your life, but you do need the storage for them as well. Sometimes when you store these, they will get bent out of shape a bit, especially if you've been storing them for a long time and they're quite squished up. In my book, I do have a page about how you can fix that. If you want, you can order this on Amazon. And then I always recommend having a safe space to store all of your certificates of authenticity. So for example, all of mine are in this folder. That is it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more from me, then subscribe. And hopefully I will see you next time.